land where our fatherly leaders' far-reaching plan has come true. The dawn glows on a new era. A sea of fruit trees spreads over our country under the bright sunshine of the great leader. A sea of fruit, of happiness, flows on and on, across these once barren hills and fields, singing his love and solicitude. Brilliant and immortal are the achievements of our paternal leader, eternal as time itself. Along with the verdant gardens of flowers and golden fruit, our people will forever praise the leader and his dedication to provide them with a full, rich life. All over our country and in every season, fragrant fruits grow under the warm sunshine of the great leader. We begin picking the golden fruit, the fruit of red royalty from early spring. The whole nation rejoices. The leader, our father, decided to call this nameless fruit the white Hyrion apricot. It now covers the mountains and valleys in the north and has become one of our country's specialities. We grow both early and late ripening fruits, and the amount of high-quality produce has increased enough so that today our people can eat fresh fruit to their heart's content all year round. We owe all this to the profound care of the fatherly leader. It is the fruition of his warm care. Our country has become a virtual forest of fruit. In springtime, the fruit flowers burst into full bloom. In autumn, trees of all kinds are laden with fruit. Our people enjoy them throughout the year. The proud history of this great transformation started right here in the tiny village of Ryongdeon, Bukchon County. Concerned with the people's happiness and the eternal well-being of posterity, the great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung, introduced his long-range plan. Make the most effective use of our hills, which take up 80% of the country's land area, in order to develop the national economy and improve the living standard of the population. Years ago, prior to the historic enlarged meeting of the Presidium of the Party Central Committee at Bukchon, the leaders sat at this desk to consult with experts in the growing of fruit. On April 7, 1961, he presided over the Bukchon meeting. The leader visited the village of Ryongdeon with a far-sighted idea of converting the whole nation into a land of fruit. Our paternal leader is always for the people, encouraging the new and imbuing them with hope. Here we see the Premier happily going among the people in spite of a chilly spring rain. Yesterday, the great leader created the exemplary Seventies spirit and Seventies method of the village of Ensemble, and today he has convened the historic Bukchon meeting here. In the leader's historic speech on planting orchards through an all-people movement, he proposed a unique policy for developing fruit growing along two-tier lines. The leader said that increasing the number of orchards was honorable work, which would guarantee the happiness of the people and the prosperity of the generation to come, and he called on all the people to help plant orchards. Responding to the great leader's call, we dynamically waged an all-party, all-people movement. Our plan is to cover the mountains and plains with orchards. To contribute to the prosperity of our country, farmers, factory and office workers, soldiers, students and housewives planted the saplings with meticulous care and loyalty. These hills and valleys had been neglected for centuries, but now the laudable history of the transformation of all our hills into golden mountains has begun. Yesterday, our fatherly leader called upon the entire people to develop orchards. And today, he plants saplings, which promise an abundant harvest. Our Premier works hard to beautify this land for the wealth of the country and the well-being of the people. Thanks to his warm care, the whole land, which had been unproductive and neglected for thousands of years, has now been blanketed with the flowers of fruit trees. Everywhere the leader goes, flowers bloom. Everywhere he visits, there is a sea of blossoms. Our socialist homeland has been converted into a paradise for the people. In the spring, the air is fragrant with flowers, and in autumn, fruits abound. For 15 years, our fatherly leader fought the arduous anti-Japanese struggle. His great aim was to build a new society in our beautiful land, free from exploitation and oppression, and to ensure all people just and bound for life. This aim has now been realized. Mountains, fields, towns and villages all show signs of prosperity and hope. These young orchards will flourish for all generations to come. Each of them will blossom eternally, telling the story of the leader's infinite love for people. This is the village of Ryongden. Together with the rest of the beautiful homeland, it will always thrive. Under the sunshine of the leader, all hills and valleys turned into golden hills and velvet islands. 10-year-old Puktung apple trees, roots deep in the rich earth, and annual rains increasing every year. As strong as these young orchards, farmers have grown into full-fledged masters of the orchards, qualified pomiculturists. During the 10 years since the Puktung meeting, Ryongden village has planted 200 tumber of new orchards, a model of what a terraced orchard should be. True to the teachings of the dear leader that we make good use of mountains, we've created terraced orchards, the foundation of our long-range program for the happiness of future generations. Stone belts for the terraced orchards, strips of green that suit the features of the terrain, and roads winding through the hills. How solidly they have been built. This park at Puktung has caught fire all over the country. Today, there are orchards everywhere, in Cheonggyeori, Gongsan County, and Dongsin County, Jagong Province, and in the remote mountain region of Pyeongdong, where they say people had never seen an apple tree. Now the Tangin Cooperative Farm has more than 500 tumbo cultivated with fruit trees. Our cooperative farms together have over 3,000 orchards. In this plain area, peach trees and grapevines have been planted along the dikes. Fruits are harvested all over the place. The farmers here, who didn't know what a fruit tree looked like, now talk merrily about the immense love of the leader. The blessed land of Pochonbo, Jagong Province. In his childhood, the leader stayed overnight here after he embarked on the long, long path toward knowledge. Mountains have been altered and nature transformed to yield fruit on this plateau 1,000 meters above sea level. This is really the wonder and great vitality of Pochonbo. An endless sandy beach along the East Sea. Here, too, our people have planted a vineyard 10 ri long. The Ensemble vineyard in Chongbon County is a major grape raising center on the East Coast. This is a village in DPRK County near the military demarcation line and within calling distance of the South. Since the leader's visit, fruit trees have been planted over more than 100 timber of land. Encouraged by his affectionate promise to return when their farm is rich and productive, the farmers here lead a happy life. The fatherly leader goes from one village to the next, and every place he visits turns into a beautiful socialist modern community. Ensemble County, where we find villages in the middle of orchards, and the orchards amidst villages, is famous for its persimmon. Not only cooperative farms, but also factories, enterprises, public institutions and schools cultivate food. The whole country has become an orchard. An endless stretch of rustling orchards border the blue waters of the West Sea. One young orchard covers 100 ri in Fruit County, where the sun is said to rise from the orchard and set there. Each of the innumerable fruit trees, each of the endless lines through the orchards, is permeated with the warm love and care of the beloved leader. The communist fruit farm, the first of its kind in the world, was founded during the grim days of the Fatherland Liberation War by the great leader. He visualized today's victorious homeland covered with orchards of every variety of fruit. The paternal leader traveled far to visit this remote orchard. He instructed the farmers to expand the area under fruit cultivation and keep it thriving all the time. Pochonbo County will become a true paradise once a resort is built on its seashore and a recreation ground is laid among the orchards. Together with the orchards of Pochonbo County, the huge Pyongyang fruit farm was built during the war to serve as the capital city's major supplier of fruit. Ours is a country of fruit farming. Orchards are everywhere, stretching endlessly along the railway lines on the east and west coasts, and sprawling far and wide as seen in this aerial view. In 10 short years, the territory planted with fruit trees has expanded 33.3 times as compared before liberation, a figure known in the history of fruit culture. This miracle was made possible by the unique policy for the development of fruit cultivation set forth by the great leader. Pochonbo County is a fruit-producing center that has only recently appeared on the map to add a new page to the history of fruit growing in our country. on the basis of a scientific analysis of the new conditions under which fruit culture has grown in scope, and fruit production has become a complex technological process. The leaders set up an integrated farm management committee for each country and extensively introduced the field team quota system, a communist form of enterprise management. This marked a turning point in our development of fruit growing. Under the field team quota system, every crew member becomes a proficient in handling various types of fruit-growing machinery. This goes a long way towards the overall mechanization and modernization of work on fruit farms. The introduction of the field team quota system, initiated by the great leader, has made it possible for all the members of the team to promote the technological revolution in fruit growing and to manage fruit cultivation on a socialist and more scientific basis. All field team members are tractor operators who tend their plots with a high sense of responsibility. They work their fields in shifts, just as factory workers do with machines. They lovingly care for state property and attend the fruit trees with great attention. The field team quota system is a form of management allowing us to grow fruit more efficiently along socialist lines in conformity to the specific characteristic of polyculture. Under the system, each field team constitutes a cell of collective life where the crew are educated in communism. At the end of each day, the team analyzes its work and makes plans for the following day. Field team systems arm themselves closely with the great revolutionary thoughts of the leader in a constant effort to revolutionize themselves. The great leader set up educational institutions in fruit-growing centers. Here at the Putong Pomicultural Higher Institute, instruction follows the guiding principle of Tute so that graduates will develop fruit growing in accordance with the actual conditions of our country. The students are learning professional techniques which they will apply later in their practical work. They even learn the arts of fruit storage and processing. Along with the pomicultural institutes, the high agricultural institutes with a pomicultural department and an educational system that combines study with production also turn out large numbers of orchardists. The agricultural college in each province has a pomicultural department which trains specialists who will be entrusted with the job of developing fruit culture. In addition to regular courses at these educational institutions, correspondence courses train workers in the field of fruit growing into highly qualified specialists. There is also an on-the-job educational system which gives systematic training to the personnel of fruit farms so that they can build up and manage their orchards with greater efficiency all the time. growing centers have a school for team leaders, which teaches these workers the latest technical achievements in pomiculture. While paying close attention to the training of technical personnel, the leaders set up fruit culture branches of the Academy of Agricultural Sciences in the eastern and western districts of the country to raise the scientific and technical level of fruit cultivation. At the Western District branch, efforts are being made to obtain new varieties of fruits congenial to our climate and soil, in keeping with the teaching of the leader to establish tute in fruit growing. The personnel of the fruit laboratory of the Eastern branch of the Academy of Agricultural Sciences are working hard to realize the leader's teaching. They have already developed a new variety of apple which grows well in the northern inland area. With the rapid development of fruit culture, machine factories serving this branch of agriculture have been set up in many places. The factories produce various types of machinery suited to the specific topographical conditions of the country and supply them to all districts where fruit is grown. Fleet of machines and their crew guarantee the further development of our country's fruit cultivation. In building a socialist industrial state, we have created the possibility of equipping all branches of the economy, including fruit growing, with powerful machinery and of propelling the technological revolution onward at full speed. Because our independent national economy has solid foundations, we have been able to provide our fruit farms with tens of thousands of powerful modern machines. In response to the teaching of the leader to mechanize and modernize the work on fruit farms so as to relieve the fruit growers from difficult, labor-consuming operations, we have considerably increased the rate of mechanization in our orchards. Our country has not only mechanized fruit growing, it has also developed stock breeding in such a way as to supply orchards with large quantities of rich manure. There are modern pigsties in every large orchard. The high-quality manure they produce improves the land and raises its fertility. Our orchards have modern pigsties and stock breeding routines suited to their needs. They can produce meat as well as fruit. Our country's extensive irrigation system has reached the orchards. The irrigation system, with its life-giving water, flows into our fields of fruit. In the plains, every single fruit tree has its own dish. Terraced orchards as well have their system of irrigation. People won't ever look at this mountain ridge before, but now an orchard has been planted here. This is a fact. The metal pipes reach far to carry life-giving water, which accelerates the fruit's growth.